Hello everyone and welcome to the kind of long-awaited review from me of the Tarteist Pro palette. Now, I really wasn't planning on reviewing this because basically every YouTuber had already reviewed it and got sent to whatever Bora Bora, some sort of vacation island thing. This is not me being bitter, I'm just saying because they got sent there. Obviously, Tarte, they had to promote this, etc, etc. So you guys were getting slammed with this on YouTube. I figured you already heard about it, but then people kept asking for me to review this way after the fact. So I figured, why the heck not? You know, that is what I am here for you guys. You ask, most of the time you shall receive. So I got the Tarteist Pro Amazonian Clay Palette, and it's a beaut. It really is. Just lovely, right? And it is. Now, if you watched last month's, one of the more previous months of Best and Worst of Beauty from me here on my channel, you would have already heard my thoughts on this palette for the most part. So I'm sorry if this is kind of like a repeat of that, but I mean, my feelings haven't changed since I filmed that. So to start off, I mean, quick overview, this palette, if you haven't heard of it yet, where you been? Hopefully on a vacation, having a good time. But this is a palette from Tarte that has, you know, kind of mostly neutrals, but like orangey pinky neutrals. It's got 16 matte shades and then 4 shimmer shades, so 20 shades altogether. And when this first came out, a lot of people were kind of upset because Tarte advertised these 4 shimmery shades as all being duochromes, but the only duochrome one is the one on top here. It's technically the bottom of the palette, but the rest of these are really just shimmers, and to me, they're not even like full-on shimmer shadows, they're like overlays. Granted, you can build them up and everything to get more of a high impact, but for me, they really are just kind of a sheer wash of shimmer. And then even the one that is technically a duochrome, it's not like the most duochromatic. I have it on my eyes today. So I understand why some people were pretty irritated about that. Did I mention this is a $53 palette? It comes in a great package, you know, nice and sturdy. It's got a click lid to it. The back is all gold, and it's got a nice huge mirror right there. So that's really nice. It also like stays at this angle. Now granted, it won't, well, no, it stays at any angle that you want, but that's as far back as it goes. I really like that because then I can sit here and like use this as my mirror, and it's huge and wonderful for that. It smells like vanilla. Like a very soft vanilla cocoa. It is delicious if you ask me. And the shadows, for the most part, are very high quality. If you have used Tarte shadow palettes in the past, like the In Bloom, this is very comparable to that. It's not perfect. The darker shades here, and then a couple of these in here. So I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those ones, they're very stiff, and because of that, when you do apply them to the lid, they go on very smooth for the most part, but they do end up kind of like skipping, so you just have to make sure that you blend them out really well. They can be blended though, so it's like I can't fault them too much for being stiff, but that is a thing. The rest of them though are super buttery, super silky, just all around delightful. You barely even have to try to blend them out. They just kind of do it effortlessly on their own. The stiffer ones, like I said, you do have to work a bit to get them blended out, but it's really not that bad, and once they do blend, it's just I really like Tarte eyeshadows. The mattes are all pretty darn pigmented. Like I said, the stiffer ones, you kind of have to work to build them up, and same with the shimmers. But overall, I think the shadows in this palette are great quality. Now, the thing about this palette, if you don't already have a neutral palette and a neutral matte palette specifically, this might be a fantastic option for you. However, if you are like me, and you already own eyeshadow palettes like this, the Tartelette in Bloom maybe might be one that I'm thinking of in particular, the Tarteist Pro might not be for you. When you look at these, they're pretty darn similar, and I did do some swatch comparisons here for you just really quickly so that you can see the shadows that do end up looking very similar. They're not complete dupes. A couple of them are, like Chic and Sweetheart. I would say those are pretty much exact dupes, but the other ones all kind of end up looking the same, or mostly the same, you know? Once you get it on the eye and once you do your look and everything with everything all blended together, the shadows end up looking the same. So if you already have the In Bloom palette, this palette might feel a little bit not inspiring for you, which is what happened to me, which is so weird because when I look at the Tarteist Pro palette online and everything, I look at it and I'm like, oh, these shadows are so gorgeous. I can think of so many things I could do with them. And you can put together quite a few different looks with this palette. But once I open this up and I have it in my hand and I get started, I'm like, you know, like I feel like these shades all kind of end up blending to look very, very similar once they're on your lid. And once you get everything blended together, it's just, it takes some work to get a bunch of variants, I guess, in the eye looks you can put together. Now, if you are a very creative person, like an actual makeup artist, unlike myself, this might, like, you can come up with 800 different looks with this. With me, I feel like I put together like the same 4 looks every single time, no matter what combination of these shadows. Maybe that's just me being not very creative when it comes to eyeshadow, but I also think it kind of has to do with the fact that, like I said, a lot of these end up just blending to look very similar. And also another thing with this palette, the eyeshadows last beautifully all day on me. I do have to use an eyeshadow primer. I do with any eyeshadow out there, otherwise things end up creasing and fading and whatnot on me. But with my typical eyeshadow primer, these shadows don't like fade, crease, nothing. They are delightful from the minute I put them on to the very end of the day. They end up looking basically exactly the same as when I first put them on, and they're just lovely and delightful. Now, you do also have to worry about fallout. I'm sure I showed you in some close-up shots or something, but these shadows are very powdery, I guess. Like, they get a lot of kickback when you put your brush into them. So you just have to be very cognizant of that and remember to tap, 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 tap your brush off like crazy before you go to put it on your eyes. Otherwise, you're gonna have fallout all over underneath your eyes, which is just a pain in the butt. So that is also something to just be aware of. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me for like a verbal review of this palette and everything. Let's go ahead and get on into the swatches and everything. This is, you know, a longer video. It's a bigger palette. I've got a lot more to swatch for you, but yeah, let's dive on into the swatches here. I've got my 3 mini tutorials, this one being one of them, or this look being one of the tutorials. Go ahead, watch all that if you would like. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you all at the very end of the video. So, here we go.
faded. misery and suffering and unhappiness, and it's all over much too quickly. The question is, have I learned anything about life?
So that is going to do it for my review on the Tarteist Pro palette. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it helpful in seeing whether or not this is going to be a palette that you're going to want to get for yourself. Maybe you already have it, you love it, you hate it, you want it, you don't want it, etc, etc. I love hearing from you guys in the comments down below, so please let me know your feelings on this palette. If my review and all of the swatches and everything was helpful and or enjoyable for you, please do go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? You can go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more content from me in the future. I would love to have you here. And as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well. And until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!